The digestive system is responsible for the conversion of food into energy in the body. With the help of several organs, food is broken down, moved, absorbed, transformed, and expelled from the body. Food passes through the alimentary canal, which is a long tube made up of the mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, large and small intestines. The digestive system begins at the mouth. The process of mastication, chewing up food, and mixing it with saliva takes place here. The mouth contains the tongue, which is responsible for taste and the mixing of food. There are 3 types of teeth: the incisors for cutting, bicuspids for tearing, and the molars for grinding. Salivary glands produce the saliva that mixes with the food. There are 3 salivary glands around the mouth: the parotid, which are beneath the ears, sublingual, located beneath the tongue, and the submandibular, located beneath the mouth. They produce amylase, which breaks down carbohydrates. The mouth ends at the palate. This is where the uvula is located to channel food down into the throat. The pharynx is a passageway leading from the oral and nasal cavities to the esophagus and larynx. The pharynx serves both respiratory and digestive functions and houses the tonsils and salivary glands. Between the pharynx and the esophagus is the epiglottis. The epiglottis is a flap at the base of the tongue that locks down over the larynx when swallowing. Next comes the esophagus, which connects the pharynx to the stomach. It is classified as a fibroelastic muscular tube and channels food down to the stomach through a process called peristalsis. Peristalsis is a series of wave-like muscular contractions that moves food to different parts of the digestive tract. The process of peristalsis begins in the esophagus when a bolus of food is swallowed. The strong wave-like motions carry the food toward the stomach and the cardiac sphincter. The cardiac sphincter is the muscular doorway to the stomach.
The stomach is located at the end of the esophagus. The cardiac sphincter at the end of the esophagus controls the flow of food into the stomach. It churns and mixes the food with acidic gastric juices to turn it into chyme. At the top of the stomach is the fundus, where gases are captured and absorbed. At the bottom of the stomach is the pyloric sphincter, which controls the flow of food into the duodenum. Food typically spends up to 4 hours in the stomach until it is ready to be passed on into the small intestine. Rugae, or folds in the stomach wall, massage, expand, and contract to mix the chyme. Here, the pH level is at a 3, signifying an acidic environment. This helps with the digestion of proteins and other foods. After passing through the stomach, food reaches the duodenum. The duodenum is the first loop of the small intestine, where the acidic content of chyme is changed to basic content. In the duodenum, pancreatic juices continue protein digestion, and the bile from the gallbladder begins to break down fats. The duodenum has 2 vital parts for the digestive system: the gallbladder and the pancreas. The gallbladder emulsifies fat and dissolves large globules into smaller bubbles. The pancreas inside the duodenum secretes pancreatic juice that completes the digestion of proteins and insulin to control blood sugar levels. The middle portion of the small intestine is called the jejunum. The last portion of the small intestine is the ilium. The ilium is a smooth muscular tube where food is pushed through by peristalsis. This tube is lined with villi that help out with the absorption of nutrients, minerals, and vitamins. The villi in the ilium contain large numbers of capillaries that take the amino acids and glucose. Villi, which are located all throughout the small intestines, help with the absorption of nutrients. They are finger-shaped structures that stick out of the small intestine's walls. The wall of the villi are 1 cell thick to aid in absorption through diffusion. The capillaries inside of the villi absorb the nutrients and carry it through the bloodstream and into the body. At the end of the digestive system is the large intestine, which uses the ileocecal junction to connect to the small intestine. There is an opening in the intestine called the cecum. The large intestine is responsible for the final absorption of minerals, vitamins, nutrients, and water through the colon. The final job of the colon is to store feces and to control the flow of the feces through the anus.
Part of the large intestine is the ascending colon. This part of the colon travels up from the cecum on the right side of the abdomen. The ascending colon uses bacteria to digest waste to release more vitamins. It then deposits that material into the bloodstream. The transverse crosses the abdomen. Most of the absorption of water and nutrients takes place here. ascending colon descends from the transverse colon to the sigmoid colon. Here, feces is stored until it is ready to be expelled from the body. Water, nutrients, and vitamins are further absorbed in this region. The final part of the colon is the sigmoid. In this part, feces is held until it is ready to be delivered to the rectum and anus. Even more absorption takes place here. Once absorption is complete, fecal matter moves from the sigmoid colon and into the rectum. The rectum stores fecal matter produced in the colon until the body is ready to eliminate the waste through the process of defecation. The anus starts at the bottom of the rectum and has a sphincter to control the flow of feces. The liver's main job is to filter the blood coming from the digestive tract before passing to the rest of the body. As it does so, the liver secretes bile that ends up back in the intestines. The liver makes coagulants and anticoagulants and stores iron and vitamins. The liver also makes proteins important for blood clotting and other functions. There are 11 digestive system enzymes that can be found in the body. The different kinds of enzymes are salivary, stomach, intestinal, and pancreatic. The salivary enzymes initiate complex carbohydrate digestion and can continue starch digestion in the upper stomach. The stomach enzymes initiates protein and butterfat digestion. The intestinal enzymes break down peptids into amino acids, turn saccharides into monosaccharides, turns fats into fatty acids and glycerol, and activates trypsinogen. The pancreatic enzymes transform starches into glycogen, turns fat into fatty acids and glycerol, turns larger proteins into smaller proteins, and turns nucleic acid into nucleotides. To summarize the digestive system, food is chewed up in the mouth and travels down the pharynx and into the esophagus. It is then stored and broken down in the stomach. Chyme then travels into the small intestine, where it is further broken down and nutrients are absorbed. After the small intestines, it moves into the large intestines to be absorbed even more and transformed into feces. Finally, the feces exits through the rectum and the anus.